Hello, everybody. Zon gets to 134 here.
And as always, I'm Average Joe Squad.
And welcome to another episode of Remember the Hyphen, the show where we look at comic books, movies, and everything in between. And welcome to the final episode of the summer of America's Ass. So just a quick thing. I know we've missed, by this point, the anniversary for Remember the Hyphen.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
We're working on it. Due to COVID, it's been delayed.
Yeah, due to COVID and the fact that these couple of theme months took a little longer than we intended them to.
Yeah, so after this, we're gonna be taking a break from just
Like
theme months, where we're just gonna kind of shoot some stuff by like the seat of our pants.
Yeah, just kind of,
because it takes a lot out of us.
Yeah,
like, I love doing theme months.
Yeah,
but I'm with you. It takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, and then basically after the end of this month,
Suicide Squad comes out.
Yeah,
this week actually
this week. Which we're gonna have to try and figure out time to see that. But like,
it comes out on Friday, so
like, and then after this, we only have like 1 month where we're not doing. Which I don't know. Maybe next year we only do like one summer theme month, because like it'd be kind of nice to not.
Well, because the Cat month was kind of like a just.
Yeah, which we were gonna do eventually.
Just an off the wall idea. I remember I brought it up to you, and we weren't really planning on it.
Yeah, and I loved it
because X-Men month took a lot out of us.
Yeah, but we are gonna. So basically, we're gonna do the anniversary next week. When this comes out, at the time of recording, we've got time. We're still working on what we're going to be doing for the 2 year. It's probably not going to be nearly as much of a excursion as we did for the first year, just because it's year 2. We're celebrating, but it's not going to be like us sitting around a campfire again. Well, I don't know what we're exactly doing, but it probably won't be nearly as...
we're all going to crowd in the office in the barn.
I did have a funny idea where we just get everyone fucking crammed in my backseat and just all of us in this fucking car. But, anyway.
Just put the fucking seat down.
Yeah. Actually, that's not a bad idea. But, anyway, that's what... Just to give you an idea about... It is going to happen. It's just going to be a little late. It's probably going to be the end of the month, is what I mean. But anyway, tonight's episode, of course, is Captain America: Civil War, which
my copy hadn't even been opened until I opened it, because mine is the collector's edition, which I'm pretty sure I bought at the same thrift store I bought the Winter Soldier for. I think I paid like $10 for this.
So.
They had a couple of these. Like, this one I got and it wasn't open. I want to say the first Avengers movie wasn't open. Iron Man 3 wasn't open. Maybe Age of Ultron wasn't open either. So it was like somebody had bought them and they just hadn't rewatched them.
I can believe that. Either that or maybe they got rid of them because they upgraded to like 4K.
Could be. Streaming.
Yeah, or streaming. Which, I just because you have streaming, don't get rid of your DVDs. Because sooner or later, the bottom's going to fall out of streaming. As much as I love streaming, it's that or something stupid's going to happen where, like, your internet provider's going to do package deal things. And I know, but Adam, they didn't let that happen. I'm like, they've been trying to do that since 2008 of, like, passing all sorts of bullshit to regulate the internet like they do TV. And while we've done a good job at fighting it, sooner or later something's going to get through that's going to fuck up what we got going. And it's going to, yeah.
It's when we go back in time and we fix it.
I know. That's when we get out our hats and raise the mast. Yar har tibberty dee, being a pirate is so right for me. The secret ingredient is crime. But then, like, why just get rid of him just because you can stream? Like, what are you going to do when the power goes out? Well, okay, maybe not the power goes out, but what are you going to do if, like...
I mean, like, there was a brief period where, like, I got rid of a lot of my DVDs because I was upgrading to Blu-ray.
Yeah.
But that's a little different because I was still upgrading to another physical.
Yeah, like... That's a discussion for an episode another time about the problems with...
That'd be a great episode for our 100th, even, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
Or next anniversary or something. Some shit. We'll figure something out.
But anyway... Getting back to Civil War, I remember when they slated this movie.
I remember the trailers. I was still in college when this came out.
Well, I remember like when like the phase was announced, and this was one of the ones I.
Because when was this? 20. 2019. 2020. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019. 2019.
let's say 2013, 2014, maybe 2015.
Looking for a copy right here.
But I remember seeing Civil War, and I was
2016.
Okay, 2016.
2016, which made sense because then this was a 2016 Blu-ray.
Then it was like it was one of the last ones before Infinity War. I remember because I think the only other one that came out before it was Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Which I don't remember seeing the trailer for at all.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the trailer for this, and I remember the trailer for Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And then, like, I think that next one I didn't even remember seeing it was fucking Infinity War, like, the trailer-wise.
Yeah. I remember seeing, like, when it was announced that they were going to do Civil War. And as someone who was reading comics when Civil War came out, and who hated that fucking event, not just because of what it did to Spider-Man, but what it did to Iron Man and Cap and just about every superhero in the Marvel Universe. Except for the X-Men, because the X-Men were like, fuck you. All right? We're already they're trying to register us as mutants. We're not doing no Superhuman Registration Act. We're staying the fuck out of this. And, so I already had a lot of negative feelings just hearing the name. And I remember when it was coming out, people were like, oh, this is going to be exciting because we're going to get to watch the heroes fight each other. And I'm like,
oh, that actually reminds me. I actually wore my Civil War shirt that I have.
Which is,
I have the Iron Man one.
I was going to say, that's Team Iron Man right there.
Found this when I was out thrifting the one day.
I
was like, oh, we're reviewing Civil War. Let me wear my Civil War
I remember
shirt.
people were so fucking excited for it. Like, even because they wanted to see the heroes fight each other. I'm like, you do realize that it's less about them fighting and more about how, like, they basically ruin their friendships, right?
We're still friends, right?
And then, of course, the thing that really got people fucking excited, because this movie actually, I want to say was supposed to come out like a year earlier. Well, then a certain merger happened, or a certain thing happened between Disney and Sony. After the events of Amazing 2 being a pile of dog shit.
Yeah, less said about Amazing 2, the better.
Yeah. Basically, Sony's like, all right, Disney, how much you want to put Spider-Man in the MCU? And then they decided, this is what we're going to do.
Oops. I was going to say, upside down.
You know what? I don't fucking care. This is a fucking shitty movie. But, yeah,
But it's got that sneak peek of Doctor Strange.
I don't care. They decided, yeah, this is how we're going to get Spider-Man in there. And I know, the cover doesn't show that in here.
Tom Holland isn't even credited on there.
Yeah, that's because he wasn't even supposed to be in this. This movie got a severe rewrite in order to cram Spider-Man in there. Which
shows?
Oh yeah. It's been ages since I watched this, and we have the Spider-Man scene where Iron Man was recruiting Peter. I was watching this, and then all of a sudden it cut back to Captain America. I was like, holy shit! I forgot I was watching Civil War for a little bit there. But yeah, and to be fair, like, it also shows that this movie is fucking long. It's 2 hours and 30 minutes.
I actually didn't rewatch this for this review, so I'm gonna have to have Adam lead because it's been a while. But like, I was he texted me last night. He's like, "We still on for recording?" I'm like, I sent him a picture. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm watching Winter Soldier right now." And like, I have been battling like sinus issues for like almost 2 weeks now. You know, like I can't breathe. My ears are fucked up.
Yeah.
And I'm like laying there last night, and because I can't like lay on my back and sleep comfortably. I have to keep sleeping in my chair.
Yeah.
I was fucking tired, man. Yeah. And I got to the end of Winter Soldier, and I'm like, I didn't even watch post credits. It got to the credits. I'm like, I'm going to bed, because like and then I was like, well, maybe I'll wake up early. And then I was like, I ain't waking up early to rewatch fucking Civil War. Fuck it, I'll go off memory.
Yeah.
Because like, I was getting your live text the whole time I was watching Winter Soldier.
Actually, you mind bringing those up?
I can't. Like, I can.
Yeah, because I kind of want to.
Because I was
those will be good for me to remember some talking points. Because but no, And watching this again, it fucking pisses me off. And I'll admit, I think this movie is better than the book it's based on. Just because, like, it's not really about the not the superhuman race, the Sokovian Accords.
God, you said a shit ton of crap.
No, because I was fucking mad.
I really hate the shaky cam shit in the first.
You know what? Let me just. So, the film opens with Cap, Natasha, Wanda, because this is, of course, after Age of Ultron, and she's now officially a member of, well, I guess, the Avengers. And Sam are on the trail of Crossbones, who... and I will admit, it does what I liked about the first Cap, or the second Cap, where, like, they open on, like, an adventure. It really doesn't even tie into the rest of the movie, but I like it, because, like...
Yeah, just kind of gets you going. Yeah.
Basically, Crossbones attacks this... Crap, where were they again? I can't remember. I want to say it was, like, the Middle East somewhere. I feel bad saying that, but I can't remember where it was. No, it was somewhere...
It's in Sokovia.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was in Sokovia, because
they bring that up in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that's right. Because I forgot, because, like...
You're talking about the scene where Wanda takes the fucking building out, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because I forgot, because the Wakandans were there, because this is also set up for... That's one of the bigger problems with this movie. It's setting up so much fucking shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's setting up Black Panther. It's setting up the schism in the Avengers. It's setting up Spider-Man. There is so much shit happening. And it's
so much setup. Set up the movie.
Well, basically, they're going into this, bringing into this, the CDC building, where they have all these fucking, like, diseases and shit. Because basically, Rumlow's gonna sell off, like, I don't know, fucking smallpox or something to make a dirty bomb. But in actuality, he's there because he wants to kill Steve, because he wants revenge on Steve for dropping a fucking helicarrier on him, despite the fact that Steve didn't mean to drop the fucking helicarrier on him.
Yeah.
And basically, they prevent the dirty bomb getting out, which, keep that in fucking mind. They stop the dirty bomb from happening, and they manage to get Crossbones, but then Crossbones is like, no, I'm taking fucking Cap with me. He has, like, a suicide bomber jacket on. Wanda manages to capture him in, like, her energy, and as she's trying to throw him up into the air, so, like, you know, it'll explode in a place that it won't... It goes off before she can get it too far, and it just takes out a building, and unfortunately kills a bunch of Wakandan dignitaries.
And to quote Adam's live reaction text, all caps, oh my fucking god, here we go.
Yeah. Because I was like, this is where we start with all the Avengers are bad because people fucking died.
To which you continued.
Well, okay.
All right. Let's go over how each of these events were stopped.
Before we go there, then we, of course, cut to the scene that would be apparently, I forgot was going to be an important scene in Spider-Man, where Tony is showing off Barf. And also, because I forgot, the scene that actually opens this film is the Russians hiring the Winter Soldier to kill Tony's parents so that he can get the super soldier serum that Howard was working on, so that they can make a bunch of Russian Winter Soldiers, because apparently he wasn't the only Winter Soldier, which
makes sense.
Well, makes sense here, but
Nat's not the only Winter. Nat's not the only Black Widow.
Well, yeah, but the thing about super soldiers in the comics is...
No, I know.
Anyway.
Continue.
But basically, after Tony, like, you know, talks about all these grants, you also get this fucking scene where it shows he was gonna, like, open this new thing and Pepper was gonna be in charge of it. Pepper broke up with Tony, I think over the events of Age of Ultron, because he, you know, created a fucking killer robot. Well, he gets some air because he forgot that Potts wasn't going to be here, and the lady who was writing his, like, teleprompter added that in, forgot to tell him that she was... Which Tony's like, it's not your fault, I just need to get some air, because he's basically having a panic attack because he's upset about the thing, how it fell apart with Pepper. Which... Then they don't even fucking explain how they get back together. They're just back together in Spider-Man Homecoming. But he goes down and he tries to... we get this scene that's straight out of the comic where this lady pulls a picture out and tells Tony, it's your fault my son died during fucking Age of Ultron. Fuck you. You're a fucking weapon. And all you care about is your fucking ego. Which, if you've watched the Iron Man films, the whole point Tony becomes Iron Man is because he feels guilty about the weapons trade he was in.
Yeah.
Like, and I fucking hate it because, like, it's just straight like the comic book, and you're all like, what's like the comic? I'm like, it was stupid fucking there, too. Like, because for those of you who don't know how the comic, basically this group of superheroes called the New Warriors, who are in a reality TV show for some fucking reason, are hunting
with my girl Firestar.
Actually, Firestar's not a member at this point, and
man, fuck this shit. I've lost all interest.
She's like a member of the X-Men or the Avengers at this point.
I've lost all fucking interest now.
But basically, they were chasing this mutant named Nitro, whose whole thing is he can explode. Apparently, like, he had somebody, like, shoot energy into him to the point where he could, like, blow up a city.
Mm-hmm.
And the New Warriors are chasing him, and, like, basically it goes south, because, like, they think it's a routine. He blows up a school and kills, like, a bunch of kids. And despite the fact that it really isn't the New Warriors' fault, because they didn't know that Nitro had done, like, because before this, Nitro was not capable of that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, of course, this leads into the government being like, we have to register superheroes because they're dangerous. Despite the fact that, again, it wasn't the New Warriors' fault. Nitro blew shit up.
It wasn't like he went in there with going like, I don't like Mondays.
Well, and not only that, it's not like the superheroes like meant for that to happen. Like, again, I'm not saying that the New Warriors shouldn't be a little bit responsible, because like they could have at least taken him out of a populated area. But again, like, much like with Steve when Wanda,
how are they supposed to know that?
Yeah, much like with Steve telling Wanda that it wasn't entirely her fault that Rumlow blew up that building. And, you know, Cap even says, like, I should have seen that like, we're not perfect. We just have to accept that sometimes we make mistakes and we have to, you know, find a way to live with it and move on. Because superheroes aren't perfect. Like, hell, Spider-Man is my favorite character, and he has let a lot of people fucking die.
Peter has completely fucked some shit up before.
Like, they're human.
That's what makes them so interesting.
Yeah.
It was a complete opposite of the DC stuff, where
we're like they're like they're gods.
They were perfect at that point.
Well, and credit to Tony. At least here, it's not he's becoming a fascist because he wants to create a superhero army because he had a dream where like they would need a superhero army to fight like an evil threat. Here, Tony's literally trying to like if we sign up now, we can work on fixing this so that we can like keep doing what we're doing. We just have to have someone to check up on us. Even though a lot of it's about Tony's fucking guilt and hoping that he can use this to bring Pepper back, I at least can see that Tony's trying desperately to try and keep it from like his friends going to prison. Except for the fact that he's forcing the Scarlet Witch to live on his compound, like as in even I'm like, I know you're not actually interning her, Tony. You're still basically treating her like she's dangerous. And Wanda is not dangerous. And I know I just said that after WandaVision came out.
Point still stands.
Point still stands. That wasn't her fault. But basically, the U.S. Secretary of Defense comes to the Avengers Mansion and lists off every fucking damage that they've done. Which now we can get to the. So first he shows off the Chitauri invasion of Earth from Avengers 1.
Which, quote from you, kept the destruction to a few blocks and prevent the spread of the invasion while also fighting giant monsters. Meanwhile, the government of the world decided to nuke fucking Manhattan.
Yeah. Like, again, like, I get it. There was devastation. Again, they minimized it. Like,
it was a fucking alien invasion.
They should be lucky not all of New York didn't get wiped out. It was just a couple city blocks.
Yeah.
And of course they bring up Hulk, which I'm like, except that Hulk didn't really destroy as much shit as they, like, act like he did.
Well, and even then, if they were to have brought up Incredible Hulk, it would have been like, yeah, and he was stopping Abomination.
Yeah.
Like, kiss my ass.
Which was created by the fucking government.
Yeah.
Again, the Avengers were cleaning up the government's mess.
Yeah.
Which I also love because at this point Thor and Hulk are missing because of Ragnarok. And the general's like, that's like misplacing 2 megaton nukes. I certainly would get in trouble for that. I'm like, first of all, only Hulk kind of counts like that.
I'd get in trouble for that. Uh-huh. Yeah, you want me to bring... I would have been like, you want me to bring up the 2 times the United States Armed Forces misplaced nuclear bombs on American soil, by the way?
Yeah.
One of which, one of which, by the way, is still out there live in the ocean, and we don't know where it is. We got a rough area, and we don't know where it is. Because, I don't know if you ever heard about this incident, okay? I know we're deviating, but this makes sense.
Yeah.
What I'm about to be getting at. Because this is hypocrisy. So, let me look this up, just so I get the details correct.
Well, okay.
Continue
But my thing about saying that about Thor is the prince of an alien world with super advanced technology. And you basically just accused him of being a dangerous weapon. You could have literally caused a war between Asgard and Midgard by saying that kind of shit.
Here it is. I was actually wrong. The United States military is missing 6 nuclear weapons.
Thank you. I wanted to not sleep tonight.
Between 1950 and 1980, this is off a article on nationalinterest.org.
Okay.
I regret that I have not fact-checked this website, but so bear with me. Between 1950 and 1980, there have been 32 documented nuclear weapon accidents that involve the unexpected accidental launching, firing, detonating, theft, or loss of a nuclear weapon. To date, 6 U.S. nuclear weapons have been lost and shockingly never recovered. Below you will find a breakdown of the statistics that led to this shocking statistic. Is this the one I'm thinking of? No, this is not the one I'm thinking of. Okay, so this one, 1950, jettisoned it out in the Pacific Ocean, never found. And this was a Fat Man bomb, aka one of the ones we dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. According to the official report, the bomb did not contain the plutonium core necessary for nuclear detonation, but still contained a substantial amount of uranium. March 10, 1956. 6 years after losing the first bomb, 2 nuclear cores were lost when a B-47 crashed in the Mediterranean. The aircraft successfully completed its first aerial refueling but failed to make contact with a tanker for a second and was reported missing. The exact weapon wasn't disclosed, but the B-47 typically carried a 3,400 kilogram Mark 15 nuclear bomb. No trace of the plane nor the cores have ever been found. February 5th, 1958. This is the one I was thinking of. During a simulated combat mission near Savannah, Georgia, an Air Force B-47 carrying a MK-15 collided with an F-86. After multiple attempts to land, the bombing crew was given the green light to jettison the bomb to reduce weight, also to ensure it wouldn't explode during an emergency landing. The bomb, which was dropped over the Wausau Sound near the mouth of the Savannah River, has never been recovered. Oh, there's this one. I'm going to keep going because there's only a couple of these left. We've already hit. This just, again, further my point. Oh, you guys did all this damage. Motherfucker, the government itself has a pretty piss poor track record.
Also, no offense to the Hulk.
That's not really his fault.
But not only that, they're acting like this is like the Hulk from the comics where he, like, trashed, like, multiple cities and then eventually, like, killed people in Vegas, you know, which led to him getting launched into space. So far, this Hulk is, like, what? Maybe damaged, like, a couple cities, but at least helped, like, with that alien invasion.
Yeah. January 24th, 1961. Somewhere near Goldsboro, North Carolina, a uranium core is buried in a field. It had been one of the cores for a pair of 24 megaton nuclear bombs that were on a B-52 that crashed shortly after takeoff. What is especially unsettling about this incident is that 3 of the 4 arming mechanisms on the bomb that was recovered had been activated. The second bomb's tail was discovered 20 feet below ground in a muddy field, and when efforts to find the core failed to uncover it, the military did the next best thing. The United States Army Corps of Engineers purchased a 400-foot circular easement over the buried compound, over the buried area to restrict digging. So they basically pulled a Chernobyl.
Yeah.
December 5th, 1965. Somehow an A4E Skyhawk attack aircraft, that's basically a fighter jet, loaded with 1 megaton thermonuclear weapon, managed to roll off the deck of the USS Ticonderoga and fell into the Pacific Ocean. The pilot, plane, and bomb quickly sank in 16,000 feet of water and were never seen again. However, it wasn't until 15 years later that the U.S. Navy even admitted this took place, and only noted it happened 500 miles from land.
Only 500.
However, that wasn't true, as the carrier was about 80 miles from Japan's Ruki, I probably butchered that, I apologize, island chain. As a result of that accident, the Japanese government now prohibits the U.S. from bringing nuclear weapons into their territory.
Yeah.
Spring 1968, this is the final one. We'll go back to Civil War. Again, furthering my point, you guys have done all this damage. Motherfucker, this is just nuclear weapons the United States has lost.
Has admitted to losing.
Yeah. As a history guy, I could bring up a fuck ton more examples of stuff that we either don't want to talk about, or B, we kind of admit, but we still don't want to talk about
Fuck, Pennsylvania, 3 Mile Island.
3 Mile Island.
Jesus.
Spring 1968. The final bomb to be lost and not recovered occurred sometimes in the first half of 1968 and involved the loss of a U.S. Navy's nuclear attack submarine USS Scorpion, which sank about 400 miles to the southwest of the Azores Islands. In addition to the tragic loss of the 99 crew members, the submarine was carrying a pair of nuclear-tipped weapons which had yields of up to 250 kilotons. While this should be scary as suggested, the good news is that the past 50 years, no other nuclear weapons have been lost that we know of.
Yeah, I was about to say that the government has admitted to. But yeah, to bring up again my Thor thing. You really gonna fucking start a war with Asgard?
Yeah, really?
Like, you really gonna say...
You're gonna start that and you won't win?
Yeah, because yeah.
The Triskelion battle from Winter Soldier. It would have been okay for fucking Hydra to just have warships that would have killed millions in the air instead of Cap stopping them.
He's bringing up the fact that, like, Cap trashed government property. Again, did you just forget the fact that he also brought up that Hydra was, like, embedded into the American government?
Well, no, remember, they're mad because, no, we don't have any intelligence.
Yeah, except all that intelligence was falsified because of fucking Hydra.
Sokovia, apart from Tony creating Ultron, the Avengers did what they had to do to save the day.
Yeah,
and just give these last three quotes real quick, just because it ties into this. God, I forgot how much I kind of hate swaths of this film. Oh my this is all caps. Oh my fucking God. So you would have rather had Crossbones and his men create a dirty fucking bomb and sell it to Iran or North Korea. Like, my God, Wanda was trying to prevent death. Not her fault Rumlow was a fucking suicide bomber.
Yeah. I mean, you would agree, right?
Adam was just triggered the entire time.
No, because, like, there's, like... Because it's all shit that, like... Yes, I get it. The Avengers caused, like, damage, and there probably was some loss of life in these battles.
Not as bad as it would have been without them.
Like, that's the nature of war and, like, superheroing. You can't save everybody. Like, unfortunately, that's just the fact of life. like superheroes cannot just prevent loss. They have to do as much as they can. Like, it's like with war. You can't go into war expecting, like, there to be no fucking loss of life. You just try to minimize the damage as much as you can. Unfortunately, sometimes damage is just going to happen. That's life. I mean, that was why I got so fucking mad. Or the fact that, like, the biggest thing for me is that they were just okay with becoming a committee for the fucking UN. Which, you know, they're so great at getting shit done.
Yeah, as a history guy, the UN does not have a good track record. I hate to say that, but because they have done some good.
No, they have. But, like,
but then there's other situations like, I don't know, the Black Hawk Down incident in Somalia '93, which we were involved in.
You know, which...
Because we had to come in because they couldn't keep the peace, so they called us in, and then it just escalated.
Yeah. But Like, my God, they would have the Avengers in so much fucking red tape because they would have to investigate. Supervillains don't give you that kind of fucking time. Like, my God, could you imagine if this had actually been up by the time fucking Thanos invaded?
Oh, Avengers, do you take me for some kind of common supervillain?
Yeah.
I launched it 15 minutes ago. Like proven Watchmen's point, I guess.
Like, the Chitauri weren't going to give them time to scramble. The Chitauri wanted to just fucking annihilate this planet looking for the Infinity Stones. Fucking Ultron's a goddamn robot who hates humans. You can't negotiate with a fucking robot.
You thought it was bad trying to negotiate with terrorists.
Like, my God. This is like the fucking guys in fucking Transformers Dark of the Moon where they're like, we're going to work with the Decepticons because that way we can rule over the planet. You're going to believe...
You're going to do what?
You're going to believe the dudes whose name is Decepticon? There's deception in the fucking name. Like, oh my God. And then things just get worse because, like, Tony, of course, is like, because we need to be kept in check. And I'm sorry, no, Tony, you need to be kept in check. Because you're the one of the group who created a fucking robot that tried to annihilate humanity.
Yeah, really.
Like, and they keep trying to say Wanda's a fucking weapon. I'm like, she's not, though. And then, of course, Vision, which pissed me off. Vision's like, I believe that you all have, even though you've done good, because of you created the very evil you fight. I'm like, fuck off. You fucking sentient dildo. Go back to fucking Wanda. You've been alive for maybe 5 minutes. Instead of being a fucking
Don't act like you know what the fuck's going on.
Although, admittedly, I did like the fact that, like, Sam and Rhodey were on opposite sides of that, and were, like, I actually like them arguing back and forth. Like, Rhodey, who's, like still in the military and, like, no, we got to, do what we have to do. Because we're, like, the military has checks and balances. And meanwhile, Sam, who is fucking, disillusioned to the bullshit, like, is like, oh, what, so they can take my armor and put it on people? And you, like, it really shows why Sam became Captain America. Like, because I'm sorry, I agree with both Cap and Sam the entire movie.
Yeah.
So this is a bad fucking idea.
I'm wearing an Iron Man shirt, but I agree with Cap in this movie.
Like, and again, no offense to Tony, because I do see why, like, Tony does at least want to.
I think both sides have a point, and I mean, like, I can see where both sides come from, but I don't think either side is inherently right.
Yeah.
I mean, I lean more so towards Cap,
but that's only just because, like, I don't believe that it's a good idea for them to become a weapon for the United Nations.
No, I don't think that's a good idea at all.
No, like, because then it means you're not fighting bad guys.
Then you're bogged down by bureaucracy and diplomacy.
Yeah.
Like, and all this other stuff. I mean, it just hampers you.
And, like,
that's what makes having, in a world where there's superheroes, like, an asset, is that they're not bound to that kind of shit.
Yeah. Like, yes, they should follow, like, the law, but at the same time, sometimes you don't have time to wait when, like, fucking Doctor Doom has unleashed, like, some sort of death ray to wait to give sanctions more time. Because I'm not saying diplomacy is a bad thing. Diplomacy is important.
There's a time and a place for diplomacy.
Yeah, exactly. When you've got Doomsday knocking on your door, you don't got time for diplomacy. And then, of course, we also, like, I'm going to kind of skip over the part with the funeral for Peggy, because it's a great scene.
It's rough.
Well, it's rough, and it also kind of, in my opinion, kind of ruins the pacing of this film. Like, I'm not saying it was bad for it to be here, but it kind of feels like like before, like, when this movie was, like...
Not to interrupt you, I need to read you this quote because I'm dying.
All right.
God, the Sokovia Accords are somehow even worse than the fucking Superhuman Registration Act.
They are.
They want me to believe that Tony would be okay with letting the UN run them? For fuck's sake, I wouldn't trust them to file my fucking taxes. At least the SHRA was making them soldiers for S.H.I.E.L.D. My God, we'd all be dead if they had to wait for the UN to give them clearance.
I mean, am I wrong? Am I wrong?
For fuck's sake, I wouldn't trust them to file my taxes. God damn.
No, it's something because I feel like I'm going to be an asshole. Because again, I like this. I love the scene. It's a good scene. But man, we've got other things that are. Well, I hate saying this.
Are you saying it would have been better paced at like near the beginning of the movie?
Yeah, maybe near the beginning of the movie. Because it stops the film cold until we get to the part where Bucky blows up the Sokovia Accords like summit.
Probably how I would have done it. I would have opened with the funeral. Okay.
Yeah.
Then hard cut into the scene with the dirty bomb.
Yeah.
I mean, would it have been? It would have been really similar to the Winter Soldier opening, which maybe is why they didn't go with it.
But I think
it would have worked better for pacing.
I think it also would explain why Cap is a little off throughout most of this film. It would have been, I think, a little bit better there.
Yeah.
Especially because
we're getting even if they're showing the dirty bomb sequences and we're flashing back and forth.
Yeah, that would have worked.
That would have been
to show that Cap's mind's other places instead of being all focused.
I would have done it like that. I mean, it might have been a little confusing at first, but I think it would have been better pacing wise.
Yeah.
Not to mention, it would have been very good in terms of cinematography.
Yeah. But to be fair, they put it there because it's just one more reason for Cap not to sign the Accords, and I'm like, okay. Although, speaking of the summit, I fucking love that stuff with T'Chaka and T'Challa, with them being like in Wakanda, like the emissaries for Wakanda. My God, it made me realize how much we lost when Chadwick Boseman passed away, because off the bat, he is
just embodies the character.
Yeah, he is Black Panther. He is the king of Wakanda. Like that scene after his father gets blown up by the bomb, and like he's just cradling his father, and it's rough, and there's no sound, and it's just, and then he like that scene where he's just sitting there talking to Nat, and he talks about how like his father's like, death is not the end, it's merely the beginning, where you're brought in by basically some of the Egyptian gods that are based on like felines and stuff. I think it's Socket and Bast, I want to say. I apologize if I got those wrong.
And I'm not up to date on my Egyptian.
But basically he talks about how basically the people that were the Black Panther or just Wakandans in general, they go to the afterlife where they're basically, they're young and they're free to run through this like field, and like they're free to be strong and happy. And basically T'Challa's like, I don't really believe that. What I do know is I'm going to bring justice for my father and Wakanda. And then we get that amazing scene where Cap figures out where Bucky is, and he's trying to get Bucky to like help him. And then the German police show up, and that scene's really good too, where it shows Cap having to fight, basically the good guys in order to just try and save Bucky. And then that scene where Black Panther just shows up to fucking murder Bucky. And that cop chase scene was really good, especially because one of my bigger problems I have with this movie, a lot of the fight scenes are really shaky cam.
Well, because it was right around that period where
and
it's kind of like trying to do like the Cloverfield style thing, which you and I have both said on numerous episodes prior to this that we fucking hate that shit.
No, like
that shit makes me nauseous.
Yeah, use a thank God nowadays
use a fucking tripod.
Thank God nowadays it's not as bad. Like someone was like that looks fucking bad, and like
use a fucking tripod.
Like Brandon, there are times where I think the shaky cam kind of works. Like if maybe like it's from a point of view,
if it's used sparingly. When it's all over the place, I'm like. It's fucking making me nauseous.
Because Winter Soldier didn't have that.
No.
Like, all those scenes were lovingly shot.
Avengers didn't have that shit.
Avengers didn't have that, but no, oh my God. And thankfully, I think the car chase scene at least wasn't shaky, but my God, that opening scene pissed me the fuck off. It was so shaky. I'm like, I want to see Nat kick some ass. I want to see, like, them kick ass, but I can't see it because it's all... like, fucking stop!
I'm sorry. Anybody that thinks that's a good camera technique is fucking... Go fuck yourself.
It's fucking ass, is what
ass.
it is.
I'm glad we stopped doing that shit. That shit needs to not come back. That shit was terrible when it was brand new.
You know what the worst part about it is?
Every movie was doing that, and it was fucking annoying.
You know what the worst part is? It's especially bad in a movie you don't fucking like. Because
the worst that it ever was for me was when I went and watched one of the Purge movies. Oh my god, I couldn't figure out what the fuck was happening.
No.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, fucking go back to video productions. Learn how to fucking shoot a film.
Yeah,
like that's like the golden rule is you don't do that kind of shit.
Like, no, well, it's subverting like how you do film. I'm sorry, there's certain rules you can break for filmography.
I got a subversion for you right here.
Like, because like you know, like breaking the 180 rule. Sometimes that's not a bad thing to break because like you can like do it like in a way that
for me, shaky cam has always been, it takes me out of watching the movie.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And it makes me sick.
Yeah, I no, that's not a rule.
And I know I'm not the only one that feels like that.
Using the tripod is fucking universal. That's not something, like, if I can't see what the fuck's going on, that's a bad thing to do. Like, don't fucking shake the cam and turn on a goddamn light. Because all bad movies of this period was like, shaky cams and no fucking light.
Oh, I know. It was like fucking awful.
If I wanted to do that, I'd fucking sit in a dryer and watch fucking Fan 4-Stick.
I'd go home and watch fucking X-Files.
You're not wrong. Okay. Sorry about that.
That was a much needed rant for that because we talked about cinematography in the last episode. Yeah. I mean, this was valid. This was like the opposite end of the coin.
And then we get to the scenes where like they finally capture Bucky. And again, I like the scene here where Tony's like, please just fucking sign this accord. Even bringing out the pens that FDR used to sign in.
You notice, Steve is like one of the only ones reading it.
Yeah.
He's like the only one shown actually reading the fucking thing.
Yeah, because he's like, I'm not gonna sign something I'm not fucking reading.
That I don't fucking know.
Like he's
the kind of guy that reads the terms and conditions.
Which is weird because I figured since ScarJo's fucking suing over her contract, she knows how to read something. Apparently not in this movie. Which that's not a stint on ScarJo. I just wanted to make a topical joke. And like he brings out those FDR pens. I'm like, really, Tony? And like he almost had Tony believing him, and then he had to bring up that Wanda was basically a prisoner in his house. And I'm just like, Tony, couldn't you have worded that a little bit better? You're just like, I'm just protecting her. Like, I mean, because I know it's not good, but like, my God, he fought World War II. Do you think he would have been happy with the fact if he heard about the fucking POW camps that we did to the Japanese?
Not POW, internment.
Internment, sorry. I don't know why I said POW.
Two different things.
I'm sorry. No,
it's all
right.
good. It's all good.
I
that's a very, very common term.
Well, then I'm ranting here, so I
know.
Like, you basically are again, you interned her. Like, you couldn't have just said, I just want her to not have to deal with there's a way he could have worded that wouldn't have pissed Steve off, and Steve might have been like, all right, I want to sign this, but we're gonna fix this in a way that allows us to keep doing what we're doing. But and then of course we get fucking Baron Zemo, who I forgot was in this film, but man, even though he does some really fucked up shit in this, he's still really entertaining. Like he is in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Because like his whole thing is he wants revenge because his family was killed in Sokovia. Which, he's supposed to be the big villain in this. He's only in it for maybe 5 minutes. He's literally just there to more or less activate Bucky, because he's actually the one who blew up the summit. Which, damn, dude. I get you wanting their revenge. You didn't need to fucking almost start a war with Wakanda and the rest of the world. Which probably would have ended not very well for us. And so basically, he activates him using the rusted longing homecoming bullshit. Because this is actually where that debuted, for those of you who haven't seen it and have only seen Falcon and Winter Soldier. This is where that... And which, again, we get a... Actually, I will admit, this scene where he fights his way out of there is actually less shaky, so it was watchable. Also, that scene where Tony's watch turns into like an Iron Man gauntlet, so he could grab the gun. That was kind of cool. Although I'm watching this, I'm like, where the fuck's Rhodey?
You know Sharon was in this too?
Oh yeah, Sharon was in this.
Where Sharon was fighting Bucky?
Yeah. My thing though was like, he's a super soldier, and Tony at this point is not Iron Man because he hasn't been Iron Man for a while because like he got rid of all of his armors to try and, well, in Iron Man 3 and also he's trying to like start over. Where the fuck is Rhodey? Like, I'm sorry, if I have the Winter Soldier down, I would have War Machine guarding the fucking door. Like, he just leaves after the scene, and I'm like, you know, we could really use a dude who's in a fucking super suit and has, like, weapons and shit.
But, Adam, he didn't use Extremis to fucking fix me.
We're getting... This is before. We're getting there. And I hate that scene fucking too.
No, I love that. I love the quote you did of that. I will not stop quoting that. Anytime Rhodey gets brought up, it's all I can think of is you saying that.
I swear to God, Disney, if Armor Wars doesn't fix his fucking legs using Extremis, I ain't gonna be very happy. I don't care if you make him Iron Man, if you don't fucking fix him. But you get what I mean, right? Where the fuck did he go?
Yeah, where is he?
Like, they're not making this is Iron Man movies that ended by this point.
He was taking a shit, man. He's got to do business.
But yeah, and so he gets away. But then I also really love that scene where he tries to get away with the helicopter, and fucking Steve is like holding the helicopter there, and he like holding it. Like, that shit was epic, and there's a couple of good scenes where it shows that Cap's not just the Shield. That was admittedly one of the better scenes I like, where he's just trying to save Buck. Like, that's one of the only good things about this movie is just how much Cap is willing to go to save Bucky. And also, oh, by the way, this is where the Sokovia Accords pretty much stop being important to the film. Because, more or less, we get to the action... Because, basically, Steve figures out that the psychiatrist that broke him out of the prison was the guy that actually bombed it. Because which I actually give Steve credit. He's like, we've been looking for 2 years to find him. What if all we had to do was... get the world, put their eyes on him so that they could get him here, which of course was Zemo's plan. I also love that they blame him for getting out, and I'm like, you do realize that Winter Soldier couldn't have set off that fucking EMP that turned the entire fucking whatever I think Vienna, like the entire city's power off, right?
Yeah.
And so, he helps him and Sam help Winter Soldier escape, and then they round up a bunch of other troops. They bring poor Clint out of retirement because Clint, after Age of Ultron's like, "Nah, fuck it, I'm done with this. I'm done with it. I got kids." They have him get Scarlet Witch out of Tony's house by helping her fight off Vision, which Vision's like, "No. They'll hate you, Wanda." And I'm like, God, fuck off, Vision. I can't believe how annoying Vision is in this. My God. And then, because basically Wanda's like, no, I can't control their fear of me, but I can control the fear of myself, because she feels bad, because she's still dealing with that. They get her, and then along the way, which they don't show, they get Scott Lang, a.k.a. Ant-Man, who I actually really love in this movie. He's because I love his little fan crush on Cap. The scene where he comes out of the van, he's like, wow, he puts his arms, and he's like, wow, that is sturdy America. It's really cute, and I love Ant-Man in this. Oh, I know why we couldn't see Ant-Man show up, explain how they got Ant-Man. Because we had to cram in Spider-Man into this fucking piece of shit. So we get a 15, 20 minutes shot of Iron Man coming to Peter and May's apartment so that he could recruit Peter for helping him bring in Cap and Winter Soldier. Oh, and Falcon. Because apparently his team wasn't OP enough. He needed the kid with the proportionate powers of a fucking spider. And I'm sorry.
This was probably the most comic accurate Tom Holland Spider-Man has been so far.
Yeah. Well, no, because they bring up why Peter does what he does.
No,
Don't bring up a fucking mention of Uncle Ben.
No, I know, but even still, the way he acts in this movie, that's probably the most closest they've gotten.
I mean, because to be fair, I like the line where he's like, you know, I've got these powers, and if I don't use them, when people die, it's my fault. Because, like, that is pretty Spider-Man. Then admittedly, I like the scene where he was going to go tell Aunt May that, or Iron Man was going to, and he whips his hand to the, he's like, all right, let's get to work. Could you get me out of this? Sorry, I'll go get the, like, I thought that was pretty Spider-Man, but then we get to the airport scene. And I'm sorry, can we talk about how fucking broken Team Iron Man is compared to Team Cap?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, like, for Team Cap, you have 2 super soldiers, a dude with a flight suit, a guy who can shrink and grow, and probably their strongest, a dude with a bow and fucking arrow. And I know Hawkeye's awesome. At the end of the day, he's still a dude with a bow and arrows. And who's probably their strongest member of the team, the Scarlet Witch, who unfortunately at this point all her powers equate to is like energy constructs and grabbing stuff.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on Team Iron Man, we have Iron Man and War Machine, who both have enough munitions and power and weapons on their bodies to take out armies by themselves. Black Widow, aka like one of the best shit kickers in the Marvel Universe. Spider-Man, who, I'm sorry, is actually stronger than Cap, even at 15. And Vision, who is an indestructible android.
This shit's rigged.
Yeah, no, this shit is fucking broken as fuck. And so, and I'll admit, the airplane scene is cool. Like, you get to see all these sweet fights. I love the scene where Ant-Man's like, I'm gonna, like, I know I'm gonna get in trouble, but, like, I'm gonna, like, turn myself giant and distract everybody so that Cap and Bucky can get away.
I like how they reference this later in Ant-Man the Wasp.
Yeah.
Where, you know, it's like, if I had asked you to come, would you have come with me?
Yeah, well, especially because, which I don't know, like, they get mad that he's with Captain America. I'm like, Hank, I thought your whole thing was that you fucking hated Stark because, like, they stole the glory from you. Why the fuck would you get mad about fucking Captain America?
Yeah.
But, yeah, but to be fair, I get kind of pissed with that anyways, because Hank Pym, regardless of not hitting his wife, is still a massive douche canoe in these movies. And I like this Hank. But I also like the fact that Nat lets them get away because she knows he's not going to stop. It's just better he... And so they start getting away, but, like, Vision's all upset because, like, he had to hurt Wanda, and so he's distracted while Iron Man and Rhodey try to stop the Quinjet. Sam, you know, plays interference. So Tony, and in my opinion, he gets really mad at Vision, but I'm sorry, this is more Tony's fault than anything. Especially because he tells Peter he's done because Peter gets beat up, which admittedly that fight with him and Cap is really cool. I still call bullshit that he was able to like Peter had trouble holding him back because, again, like, even without his training and, like, being older, Peter can fucking, like, lift like fucking cars over his head. I love Cap. At the end of the day, Cap is like a little bit above normal human ability. But granted, I do like the way he Cap beat him, especially that scene where he's like, "You got heart, kid? Where you from?" "Queens."
I was wondering if you're gonna bring that scene up.
"Brooklyn." No, that was cute. And I actually like that, like, Tony, like, Steve clearly didn't have any hard feelings toward the kid because the kid's just... Then the fucking scene where he catches the Winter Soldier's hand. Is that a metal arm? That's awesome.
And then Bucky's like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking hit this fucking kid."
That shit was funny though. Then the scene where after him and Sam get webbed up and he sends Red Wing to pulls Peter away. You could have done that at any time. Shut up. That scene was funny. I don't know how they got out of the webbing so fucking fast, but and so basically he tells Vision to try and take Falcon out, but Falcon's faster. And for some reason, the beam damages the War Machine armor to the point where basically he drops out of the sky, and for some reason, Iron Man can't just fucking catch him. And it causes Rhodey to basically crash to the ground, and it more or less paralyzes him from the waist down. Which, immediately, I like the part where Sam actually tries to apologize, because even Sam didn't want this. Of course, then Tony knocks him the fuck out with a repulsor blast, which I'm like, thanks. And then we get another scene that really, like, because then we have to see the scene where poor Rhodey has to get a CAT scan, and then he chews both Vision and Black Widow out because, like, Vision got distracted because, like, he's becoming more human. And then he fucking cusses Nat out, and Nat's like, no, Tony, you need to watch your back. Like, well, Nat, I appreciate the sentiment. You did kind of let Steve and Bucky get away. Well, I know it's not your fault that what happened to Rhodey. It's not a very good look on you. But, once again,
this movie does nobody any favors at all.
And I know that's the point because it's Civil War. We didn't need to do Civil War. I know it's a popular story, but
it's a shitty popular story. I'm sorry. The story is, honest to God, one of these days we will review the comic, but, like, in short, and I know we've said it 1,000 times, in my opinion, it is one of the most overrated hunk of junk.
Yeah, it really is.
Stories.
Especially because Marvel does it all the fucking time.
Yeah, and Civil War 2 is even fucking worse.
Yeah.
Especially for me as a Carol fan, because I'm sorry, Civil War 2 is straight up character assassination.
It really is.
There is nothing anybody can say that will defend that fucking story. It was trash.
Yeah.
It was even more trash than the first Civil War.
Which, another reason to hate this movie, the whole reason that came out is because they were doing this, and Marvel's like, we can't just reprint the original. We have to have a new story.
I don't fucking understand why. Just slap a fucking movie cover on the goddamn thing.
And the worst part is, like, even when it's not Civil War 2, almost every Marvel event nowadays has to be the heroes fucking fighting each other. For fuck's sake, we just finished Outlawed, where they were like, no, teens shouldn't be superheroes. Never mind the fact that half of them were fucking teens when they started. Looking at you, Peter.
I reserve judgment because I haven't actually read the fucking story. I don't know what exactly was said in there. I don't know what was going on.
I'm sorry. Regardless, just because it's, once again, just another fucking way for them to do Civil War, it probably isn't very good. Like, I know that makes me sound really jaded, but my God.
No, I'm with you. I want them to stop doing Civil War shit, period. I'm like, it wasn't good.
Yeah. Like, probably one of the only good scenes in fucking Secret
It's the entire reason One More Day fucking happened, which is even more reason for me to tell you it's junk.
Yeah, it literally is what has created most of the problems in the Marvel Universe for, like, the better part of 2 decades. Or almost 2 decades. Like, the only good scene in Secret War, or Secret Empire, was when fucking Hank Tron, like, literally sat the Avengers down and been like, you know, you guys spend more time fucking fighting each other than you do supervillains. And then, of course, we go one step further, showing why the Accords fucking are terrible. If you don't agree, you get arrested and sent to the fucking Raft. The Raft. Literally a floating prison that is where you put the worst of supervillains in. Like, which is, I know, like, what's better than the Negative Zone gulag? The Raft more or less is the fucking gulag.
Not by much.
Yeah, not by much.
I'm sorry. If I ever hear anybody using that horse shit as a defense, I'm gonna knock you the fuck out.
I mean, fuck, they put Wanda in a fucking straitjacket. I'm like, jeez. Which, yeah, and then, of course, Tony finally finds out because Baron Zemo decides, well, because part of his plan is he wants to get Tony where he's going. So he reveals that, you know, he killed the original psychiatrist that was supposed to interview Bucky. So he realizes it wasn't Bucky that blew up the fucking summit. Which then leads him to going to the Raft. And admittedly, at least here for a moment, Tony actually realizes he fucked up. And he goes to Sam, he's like... And basically he convinces Sam, like, he needs my help. And Sam, once again, proving why he gets the shield, is like, all right, I know where he's going. He's going to need all the help he can get. Which then, of course, leads to Tony, suiting up as Iron Man again, which, admittedly, I do like the Iron Man armor in here, because I like it more when it has more red than gold. That's why I didn't really like the armor in Iron Man 3. So him, Bucky, and I know I'm summarizing a lot. We're already an hour into me talking about this film.
Because there was a lot of ranting going on.
Well, then, there's so much shit that happens.
It's a 2.5 hour fucking movie.
And a
Again,
lot of
why I didn't rewatch it, I was like, I don't have time for this. I'm going to fall asleep.
And a lot of
I hate
just,
falling asleep with... Weird trait I have. I refuse to fall asleep to movies if they're not on TV.
That's fair.
Because I do not want my discs in the player that long, because I'm paranoid about them getting ruined.
That's fair.
I used to do it with tapes all the time. It's a little different with tapes because I know it'll just rewind and then pop the tape out.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave the VCR on that long.
No, that's fair. That's fair. And not only that, like, there's so much here that is just set up for stuff that's going to happen later. Which I don't really understand why they decided that Scott needed to get moved. Like, instead of being on the raft like he was supposed to be, they put him under house arrest. I forget exactly how that happened. It's been a while since I've seen Ant-Man and the Wasp. Then, of course, we get, because, like, Zemo's... It seems to be Zemo's plan wants to get all these Winter Soldiers out so that he can, like, fucking do something. No. He murders all the... granted, this is true to form to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where he's just fucking murdering super soldiers. He kills all of them because what he wants is revenge on them for Sokovia, which... I'm like, fucking whatever. And then, of course, we get one of the scenes that really fucking infuriates me, because, like, it really is like the assassination of Tony's character. And Steve's. He reveals that...
Oh, is this the did you know scene?
Yeah.
I hate that fucking scene.
It reveals that for some reason the Russians, saved the recording of him killing, like, the Starks. I don't fucking know how they did. Because it was literally just Bucky. Like, I would assume they would have told Bucky to erase the footage.
Knowing how the KGB and stuff worked, no, they would have kept that shit on file.
Well, I mean, for KGB, yeah, but, like, to be fair, the Winter Soldier's not supposed to exist. You would think that
there's a lot of shit though that the Russians kept.
I mean, fair.
I'm willing to let that one go. I don't think that's a plot hole. That kind of makes sense.
Okay, fair. I mean, I don't know. Anyway,
it's convenient.
Yeah, that's more. Yeah,
it kind of makes sense.
And so, of course, he asks Steve if he knew. Steve says yes, which, again, I'm like...
How? I mean, I assume Bucky told him, but...
Well, no, this is apparently before he knew Bucky was alive, or, like, he knew... Like, he somehow just knew. Which, to be fair, at least the letter at the end, Steve even apologizes, like, I thought if I didn't tell you, I was sparing you, but really, I was just sparing myself. Like, I should have told you, but, like, I just didn't want to believe that Bucky did it. I guess. Which then leads to Tony doing the stupid thing. Instead of going after Zemo, who has caused way more trouble. And, again, as Tony calls him, Bucky's a Manchurian candidate. He don't have no control over it. Besides, nah, I'm going to murder Bucky because it'll make me feel better. Proving once again that out of anyone in this movie, the one needed to be checked is the asshole billionaire that is spending his money on fucking suits of mass destruction. Basically, Tony has a brief moment where he's Jeff Bezos. And we get the scene where they fight, and they fight, and they fight. Meanwhile, Black Panther realizes he almost killed the wrong person, who looks probably the best in this, because I love that scene where he's talking to Zemo's like, you almost made me kill the wrong man. And I love it because Zemo's like, yeah, I know. I'm going to kill myself anyways. And then, like, so the dead can deal with me. And then I love it. He rustles the gun away from Zemo. He's like, the living aren't done with you yet. Like, are you just going to fucking rip this motherfucker apart piece by piece?
Because if so, I'm here to watch.
If so, granted, he was entertaining in Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm still surprised they put him in the raft. I thought they were going to take him onto that plane and they were just going to stab him to death with those spears.
Put him in an unmarked grave.
Yeah. No one would have blamed them. But I do love that scene, especially that part where he's like, "You're the living ain't done with you yet." I was like, "Oh, T'Challa's gonna do some shit." And then of course we get the scene where somehow, even I know the armor gets injured. Even still, I don't really buy that Bucky and Cap could defeat Tony. And I'm not saying that because I'm a hardcore Iron Man fan, or realistically, I've seen what Tony's suits can do. It's two dudes with above human abilities and a shield and a metal arm against Iron Man. And I know someone's gonna be like, "Well, he beat Tony up in Civil War." Yeah, he did. He used a device to disable the armor for a little bit so he could wail on him. Cap had to cheat. There's no cheating here. No, and I fucking hate the scene. It's really not good, and it's really forced. I'm sorry. Like even the part where like Tony's or Steve's like blocking the beam with his shield like the comic book page. It just doesn't do anything for me. Do you want to have any thoughts about that fight scene?
You're basically saying everything I want to say.
It's like God, it's
because I'm not. Most MCU films I can defend pretty well. This one is just one of those ones. Just like you, it just infuriates me.
Yeah, because again, this isn't a natural story. We're literally forcing them to do this, just so that we can give an excuse for why Thanos wins at the end of Infinity War, which you don't need to do. He has the Infinity Gauntlet, a weapon that literally can let him do whatever the fuck he wants. Once he gets it, he don't need no army. He could make the whole fucking army of Wakandans and he could just snap his fingers and they'd be gone. They'd be gone. But then, it ends, and then, we get that really rough scene where Tony's trying to help Rhodey walk with the leg things. Again, why didn't you just fucking fix him with Extremis? And I know people are like, why do you keep saying that? I'm like, he doesn't need the thing in his chest anymore because of Extremis. It literally will repair the body as well as give you the ability to control computers with your fucking head. And, we get the part where Vision's all mopey because Wanda's in jail. Then, of course, we get the letter where Steve gives him the phone that he'll use in Infinity War to try and call Steve. And basically, we get the scene where Cap busts everybody out of jail. Well, I'm sorry, he busts Sam and Wanda out because Clint and Scott, I guess,
are in house arrest.
Yeah, under house arrest.
Because they have families. That's fine.
Well, that night, I'm assuming Tony worked with the government. Look, they don't deserve to be on the raft. Put them under house arrest. They'll behave, and then you can let them go on with their lives, which Clint did. If you want to see Ant-Man's story, watch Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's a way better movie than this piece of shit. Which it really is. It's such a good movie. We need to watch the Ant-Man movie sometime. And that's the movie. That's Civil War. Oh, and of course we get the scene where Bucky goes under because the Wakandans are going to work on deprogramming him. And of course the scene that everybody lost their shit at, the scene where they hinted at the Spider-Man movie that we eventually got, which honestly I don't know if this movie was worth that. I really don't. I don't even think Michael Keaton as the Vulture was worth this movie.
No,
especially because I like Homecoming. It's also problematic. It's just not as bad as Far From Home in terms of problems.
All right, so ratings. I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm feeling gracious.
It's a 3 out of 10 for me. Which I know you're like, but so you're defending this movie better than the book. Yeah, because the book is a 1 out of 10 for me. And I get it.
1 out of 10 for the book is fucking too high for me.
Well, I don't like to give less than a 1. I try to have a fair scaling.
Half a star.
that's basically what my 1 out of 10 is.
There was an attempt.
Like, and I know people are like, but there's so much good in the, and no, there's really not. Like, this movie is a chore to get through. It's too long, and I'm sorry. I know a lot of people were happy when the Spider-Man stuff, hell, I fucking was when the Spider-Man stuff showed up.
It feels too shoehorned into it.
Yeah, it really is. Especially because I want to say there is actually a Blu-ray version that actually shows the airport fight without the Spider-Man in it. And also, like, again, the pacing in this movie is
fucking awful.
Fucking awful because, like, the action scenes are fine, but my God, every time they stop to talk, the pacing is just completely ruined. And again, the Spider-Man portion's so fucking long. I forgot I was watching a fucking cat movie. Like, I don't know. I honestly wish that, and I know, like, I wish that it was just he shows up for the airport fight, and then maybe we got like this the scene with him talking with Aunt May and Peter in Homecoming, instead of that fucking shittily. Fuck. Now I'm getting so mad. I'm actually talking about the other movies really badly, but like, instead of that stupid scene where him and Happy are in like a hotel room, I would have rather that have been that scene, like where he recruits. It's just bad. But no, like, the action's fine, but like, it makes the Avengers look like a bunch of assholes, like really badly. When they're not being ineffectual, they're arguing with each other over a fucking stupid like accord. It's really frustrating, is what it is. And thank God the movies got better after this, because otherwise, I think I would have been done. I think literally this would have made me lose my faith in this, if not for the fact that Infinity War was coming, and like I wanted to see where we were, like what Thanos was gonna do. You have any final thoughts?
No, you pretty much summed it all up.
Actually, before we go, do we have any more of my quotes from my just to
I'll try here. It's late and I gotta get home.
That's fair. It'll be short, I'm sure.
Past all the World War II memes.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, this group chat is
just absurd.
Absurd. I did eventually.
I'm looking for ones that you didn't actually fucking just reiterate.
That's fair.
Yeah, Zemo, sad story. You still caused the international incident.
Yeah.
And nearly started fucking war with Wakanda.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was my.
Dude, fuck, oh my, what the fuck? What the fuck is that in here for?
You posted it.
I don't remember this.
Anyway,
that's basically it. That was
yeah.
all you had.
No, cause I was, but then eventually I stopped.
I think it just broke you.
Well, then, like, I also realized if I kept stopping, I was not gonna be finishing that movie until like 4 o'clock in the morning.
So that's gonna do it for Cap Month, guys. Glad you guys tuned in, and sorry, it some good, some mediocre, some pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm also sorry it kind of ended on a very sore note with me, but like, this movie is not like it's just everything I don't like about superheroes.
One of these days, we just need to sit down and do Civil War.
Yeah,
and we'll just unleash the salt once more.
We're only doing the 6 issues of Civil War. We're not doing fucking Frontlines or any of the other fucking tie-ins.
We're not reading 2 because I'm not watching them fucking kill Carol.
And I sure as fuck am not digging out all my Civil War issues of Spider-Man. I sat through them when I was getting them in the mail. I ain't reading that trash again. I like J. Michael Straczynski, but apart from One More Day and Sins Past, that shit was rough.
You don't even have those anymore. I do.
I thought I kept those because they were Straczynski stuff.
The Civil War ones? I'm pretty sure you gave those.
Oh, did I give you this?
I think you gave those to me.
Well,
I think.
Either way, you and I are not fucking looking for those Spider-Man
those.
tie-ins. Those fucking tie-ins are shit.
I'm not reading those.
But anyway.
That's going to do it for this episode, guys. As always, I'm Average Joe Squad.
I'm Zongetsu 134.
And as always,
we ask you.
Remember the hyphen?
And look for our anniversary special.
And take care.
Of America's ass.